We know our diversity is our strength. Immigrants have built the Canada we know today, and supporting newcomers isn't just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do.
We see it in the new movement online of immigrants who are saying they're going back because they can't afford to live here in Canada. After 8 years of Trudeau, many immigrants feel like they're better off where they came from.
Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
Oh yeah.
Hey gang, what's up? Just Aaron right here, Canadian Looney. How are things? Immigration is an issue in Canada. People say housing affordability, food costs, many of our other crises that are happening can be attributed to the massive amount of immigrants that have been flooding into Canada over the last couple of years. Trudeau thinks he has a good plan. Poilievre thinks that Trudeau's plan is awful, calls him out on it. We've got a couple of very interesting pieces we're going to take a look at. Let's get into it. Let's check out Poilievre and Trudeau. We're going to start with Trudeau. This is a great video. It's not on the side of Trudeau. It's showing how the stats don't match up with his immigration plan and the fallout. We're going to follow that up with Poilievre. Let's get into it. Here's Trudeau.
We know our diversity is our strength. Immigrants have built the Canada we know today, and supporting newcomers isn't just the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do.
Just how smart is Justin Trudeau's immigration policy?
Statistics Canada runs a real-time population clock,
crossing the 40 million people threshold to the 41 million people threshold in just 9 months. Trudeau isn't fixing the problem. He's making it worse and acting as if he's, Inspector Clouseau trying to find the culprit.
Internal documents obtained by the Canadian press show federal public servants warned the government 2 years ago about the potential downside to allowing record number immigrants into the country. The deputy minister, along with others, was warned in 2022 that housing construction had not kept up with the pace of population growth. The federal government ultimately increased the number of new permanent residents to 500,000 in 2025.
An increasing number of people in this country are giving up the dream of owning a home.
Canadians are seeing some of the highest rent prices on record. Tenants across this country struggle to afford skyrocketing rent and face evictions.
The numbers are stark. The reality is grim. A record number of people are experiencing homelessness in and around Metro Vancouver.
These tent cities, commonly referred to as Trudeau towns, can be found in cities large and small.
Tackling the housing crisis just got a lot harder, and not for the reason you'd think. The latest culprit? A statistical error.
I believe that we are undercounting the number of non-permanent residents in Canada by roughly 1 million.
Just before Christmas, as questions were being raised about this in the House of Commons, Trudeau was warning, don't become anti-immigrant, don't become xenophobic. It's not about xenophobia. We don't care where people are coming from. You don't bring in 1 million people in the middle of a housing shortage crisis where we don't have enough family doctors and say you're fixing the problem.
So that doesn't sound like Justin Trudeau's plan is working out or that immigration is under control. I've heard many times people say that the old immigration minister, Sean Fraser, the current housing minister, was the culprit of this problem, not just Trudeau. Let's take a little peek at Sean Fraser. This guy is a clown. He's a Nova Scotian, so it's a little embarrassing, but let's take a look at Goofy Sean Fraser.
Mr. Sean Simon Andrew Fraser, Minister of Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship.
The challenge that we have when it comes to our growing population that is putting an impact on our housing programs is largely through our temporary programs. So the temporary foreign workers program, or in particular the international student program. And this is where we have a serious issue. And this is where we have a serious issue that we need to address and are working to address now. The international student program in particular has grown just in the last couple of years by hundreds of thousands of people each year.
This year, by the end of August, just to get a sense of what the volumes are that we're dealing with, we've processed more than 452,000 study permit applications. During the same period in 2021, which is actually the all-time record before this year, we processed 367,000 applications in the same period, which is actually the all-time record
There are some institutions in different parts of this country that I have the sincerely held belief have come to exist just to exploit the program for the personal financial gains of the people behind some of these schools, if we can call them that. When I see the way that they are bringing students in enormous numbers, sometimes with individuals who work in the immigration sector themselves, and they are not provided with housing, they're not provided with a quality education, and they're recruited here under the false pretense that they will qualify for permanent residency, it means that we've got a problem we've got to address.
Canada is now getting an international reputation for our post-secondary schools that are treating these kids as cash cows.
We have concerns that it might be about financial impropriety rather than providing a quality education to students who are coming here trying to better themselves. We have concerns.
It means that we've got a problem we've got to address.
We're going to wrap it up with Pierre Poilievre letting Canadians know what he thinks are the problems with the immigration policies of Trudeau and his goofy minister, Sean Fraser. Let's listen to Pierre Poilievre's thoughts.
We see this on the streets of Toronto, where refugees are living on the pavement. It wasn't like this 8 years ago. When refugees came to Canada, we had them sponsored by charities, churches, mosques, synagogues, other nonprofits to give them homes, help them write resumes, and get them fast work permits so they could get jobs and paychecks. We see it in the new movement online of immigrants who are saying they're going back because they can't afford to live here in Canada. After 8 years of Trudeau, many immigrants feel like they're better off where they came from because the costs and the crime that Trudeau's policies have unleashed make this country unlivable for newcomers and for those who've been here a long time. I want to get back to common sense immigration. The numbers should be driven by the number of employers who have job vacancies that they cannot fill with Canadians, by the number of charities that want to sponsor refugees, and by the families that can reunite and support their loved ones here, not by egotistical targets that are designed to give Justin Trudeau a vanity project. We need to get back to competent immigration. By the way, we need to expand housing construction. It's all well and good to think that you can increase the population by 1 million people in a year, but where are we going to house everybody? We now have, last year, we built fewer homes than we built in 1972. Think about that. In 1972, our population was 22 million, and we built 250,000 homes. Last year, our population was 40 million, and we built 219,000 homes. So we have nearly double the population, and we're building fewer homes. Is it any wonder why we have a homelessness crisis, why 9 in 10 young people believe they'll never be able to afford a home, why we have 70-year-old nurses who are living in vans after 8 years of Justin Trudeau's total incompetence on everything from immigration to housing to health care. Our country is falling to pieces. I will put it back together with common sense immigration, common sense health care, common sense housing policies that get things built. Thank you.
So what do you think, gang? Canadian Looney for certain. Like and subscribe. We have fun sharing all the things that we're learning about Canadian federal politics with you. I'm not a conservative. I'm a libertarian, but I care about Canadians in the grocery store lineups. That's it. Canadian Looney, things are nuts in this country right now. We need a change. Like, subscribe, share, get notified, all that fun stuff. Please leave a comment. I react to all the comments. So that's it. We'll catch you next video. There's so many things going on this summer. We're going to be digging into the archives of the committees, learning about where these investigations stand. Aaron, Canadian Looney, right here. Thank you for watching this video. We'll catch you in the next one. See you next time.